Hi Virgo, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name is Carol, and Virgo, this is going to be a general reading for you for October 2024. And in today's reading, Virgo, I'm going to be doing a reading called Healing Yourself. And this reading is highly influenced by a woman by the name of Ina Segal. In 2020, I had some intensive healing work done by an Australian energy worker. And it was distance, obviously, because I live in Canada. So, and it was incredibly powerful. It was probably the most, I've had a lot of healing done. It was the most incredible healing that I've ever had done, energy work. And during the sessions where she was, the energy healer was clearing my chakras, she would be reading from this book because she would connect certain things she saw in my body to areas that I needed to heal and emotions that I needed to heal. And she was reading from this healing book, and I said, what book are you reading from? And so that's when I got introduced to Ina Segal's The Secret Language of Your Body. And so anytime anything goes, if there's something that's going weird with my body, if I'll get some, and a sore, a rash, this or that, or if I catch a cold, things like that, or even like there's diseases, there's all kinds of things in here that you can, anything you can imagine that's happening to your body. And it'll really explain, what needs healing. And so I was really excited to see that Ina also put out a deck called Heal Yourself Reading Cards. So there are 36 oracle cards, and I'm going to pick one of these for you today, and that's going to be your theme and what you need to heal for October. And it is really an overriding theme. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what situation, problem, or pattern you're dealing with right now. It's coming up for you. And we're going to relate that to the theme. And then we're going to look at what's coming up from your shadow to heal. So we're going to be doing some shadow work in part 2. If you're not familiar with those two terms, I have left a really good video for you in my description box below called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And it really is about facing your shadow and how I've done it for the last 7.5 years intensively with my own trauma coach. And I've put together that for you on my other channel called Carol Cares. And it is a channel that has a lot of other videos on there for your healing journey, for specific emotions and things you need to heal. And I'm going to recommend a couple playlists probably for you at the end. That's more specific to what you're dealing with right now. And so we'll start off by pulling this card. And then after that, I'll ask for some advice from the tarot, of course, on how you can start to begin to heal this situation that you're sitting in. And we're only going to be beginning to heal it here, right? Like I'm not giving you some miracle drug here. This is a journey that you're on. You'll watch this. I'll give you some recommendations at the end, and you can take it from there. It's your journey, right? So we'll pull a card from Ina's deck, and then I'm going to use, I'll ask for, use the Tarot of the Abyss for 3 cards to start us off for the 3 sections I'm going to be doing for you. I'm going to clarify that with the Tarot Vintage, and then I'm going to pull a spirit animal from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck here at the end. All right, so I'm offering personal readings if you're interested in that. And they are on my carolcares.com website. And there's a page there with Yellow Cardinal Tarot on it. And the link that I give you in the comments or in the description box below will bring you right to my tarot page. And there's about 6 readings there that you can look at. And there's different prices there for you. So take advantage of that if you're interested in that. So let's begin right now. And I'm going to ask Virgo, what theme are we going to pick for you for this month in October? So, theme for Virgo. Oh, you got number 27. It's always exciting here. Just a second. I need to pick out my cheat sheet so that I remember what your theme is here. Okay, so you got help from above, number 27. Your positive intentions and heartfelt prayers have been heard. You are loved beyond your wildest dreams. Divine beings are working on your behalf to create the perfect circumstances for you to heal and open your heart. There is a higher order and timing to all things. You are being asked to work on your self-worth so that you can receive your greatest good in the form of incredible love, life-transforming opportunities, healing, abundance, and divine inspiration. Keep asking for higher help and intervention in any area of your life. Then follow your intuition and lower your barriers. Let go of any notions of how divinity will bring about your deepest heart's yearning. It may not be in the package you would expect, but it will be life-altering. Your heart is about to be challenged to open wider than ever before. That may require you to feel some fear and pain. Do not run away from this experience. Take steps forward with faith that your greater good is coming. Wow. Okay. So, we haven't had that card yet. And to be honest with you, I'm almost at the end. I have 3 more readings to go. I have not had one card that has repeated yet. So I'm quite excited about that because I don't want them to repeat. So each reading is different. It's been fascinating. I get excited when I do that. And it's like a new one every time. It's like, ah! Okay, so are you ready? We're going to work on self-worth here. Positive things are coming here for you. And I mean, wow, positive reading for sure already. So let's start off here. We're going to start with pulling the cards for you, and then I'll start off your reading. So what situation, problem, pattern are you dealing with right now that's related to this help from above? And I want one card, please, for Virgo. You have the Ace of Swords. And what's coming up from your shadow to here? One card to heal. One card, please. Eight of Pentacles. And finally, advice from the tarot. One card, please. Card that flipped. You have the Devil card, which is interesting because I will talk about your overriding energy, not theme, but energy is the Devil, and I'll talk about that card in a minute. So you've got the Devil twice on the table here. All right, we're going to ask for clarifiers. So, and these are all pre-shuffled before I came on. So can I clarify? Can you tell me more about the Ace of Swords here? 2 or 3 cards for the Ace of Swords. I think that one wants to come out. Okay, to clarify the Ace of Swords, you got the 7 of Pentacles. Sorry, the 8 of Pentacles. I should know by the picture. The 8 of Pentacles. The High Priestess in reverse, and the King of Swords. The 8 of Pentacles. Can I have some 2, 3 clarifiers here? Tell me more about that card. The Moon card in reverse. 2 more cards, please. You have the King of Cups. No surprise that you have this 5 of Pentacles card. I was waiting for a card to come out that had to do with your self-worth, because it talked about it in your theme. Can you tell me more about the Devil? All right, so to clarify the devil, you have the Six of Swords in reverse, the Hanged Man in reverse, and you have the Page of Cups. Very, 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 very important card. When the Page of Cups comes up, I do not ignore that card. Okay, so overriding energy. Where did I get this card from? Well, the Devil card sitting here is your overriding energy. And that was taken from the yearly reading that I did for you, Virgo, in January 2024. And I pulled 12 cards in that reading. And for October, I pulled the Devil. So the Devil, and I can see it's coming up, like I said, right here for advice. So the Devil talks about our attachments, right? Those things that we're attached to that really put off the pain is what they do. So they're like our addictions, right? They could be anything that we use to not feel that pain that we need to feel to heal. And I don't have to give you your list of addictions, because I'm sure you know what your addictions are. Everybody that has addictions knows that they have addictions, you know, and some of us like to tell people about their own their addictions, where it's like, I don't need to be told. And that's why they don't want to be told. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, you need to get rid of your addiction. But what this is a card for me that says, you know, it's time to bring awareness to your addictions and why you have addictions. And, you know, and for me, when I started my own personal healing journey, like intensively 7.5 years ago, I knew I had addictions, and my main one was food, and it still is today, where I battle with it, but because I'm an overeater. And I used to say to my trauma coach that I still have, I'd say to her, like, well, what do I do about me eating? Like, it's just out of control right now. What do I do? What do I do? And it was never, her focus was never on the addiction itself. It was on, okay, well, let's look at what's going on with you. What's going on with you? And that's what we're going to be looking at here, is like, what's going on with you? Because you have this energy of addiction, and it's coming up again here. So obviously there are addictions in play here. So it's like, okay, so why are you using this? What's underneath it? What's the pain here? What do you need to look at, right? And I mean, this did talk about unworthiness, and there was a line in here. I need to pull this out. It's the first time I've pulled this back out again. But there was a line where it said, yeah, your heart is about to be challenged to open wider than ever before. That may require you to feel some fear and pain. And that's why we have addictions. We don't want to face the fear. The fear's so big, and we don't want to face the pain. Do not run away from this experience. Take steps forward with faith that your greater good is coming. Do not run away from this experience. In other words, like, bring awareness to how you are running away from this experience to feel this pain, and that's our addictions. So that's all I'll say about that, because it's it's coming up again, and that's why I thought, well, I needed to talk about that for sure, because that's your overriding energy here. Now, when it comes in the shadow, the devil, it's a little bit different, because this is your childhood, right, in your adolescence. So it'll be like more about attachment issues with your caregivers. But when it comes in the first or the last line, it's talking about our addictions. So Ace of Swords, this is where the situation, the problem, the pattern that you're dealing with right now is the Ace of Swords. And you have an offer on the table from the universe. Here's a gift right here. It's a beautiful gift. And I think oftentimes, I mean, I'll refer back to the addiction again, but oftentimes we take addiction because we don't want to feel our pain, the pain of who we really are, because underneath all that pain is our real self, our true self. And so here's the universe offering you a card here that says, here's an offer for you. Here's a gift. You going to take it? Do you want to know who you really are? Are you ready to find out who the authentic you is? Right? Because this whole card, it says your positive intentions and heartfelt prayers have been heard. That's the quote that I have up above, and that's the main quote for this card. They know, the universe knows, they've heard you. They see your pain, they've heard your pain and your cry. And so it's like, here, do you want to find out who you really are? Ace of Pentacles talks about an individual that's been working away at this particular job that they've been doing for a long time. And normally this card talks about doing something that we have passion for. And you know, going in that life direction, that direction of life where you decide, you know, I want to do something that I feel passionate about. That's kind of like my life purpose, more purposeful. But it's in reverse here. So it's like, what have you been spending a lot of time on that you've decided this is no longer serving me? And you know, I first time I've said this, but if it has to do with addictions, maybe you've spent a long time of your life under the influence of addictions, whether it's, you know, something that would alter your mind. I mean, any sort of addiction will alter your mind, your state of being, right? So have you spent an enormous part of your life in an altered state of being just to avoid your emotions and avoid your pain? Or are you actually sitting in a position where I'm in this job and I've decided it's not for me. I thought it was my passion, and I was like, it's just not serving me anymore. So there could be a couple things there. And then right behind this, you have the High Priestess, which is a major arcana card, number 2. So this particular card is the feminine aspect of herself. It's a universal force. So the major arcana is divided into archetypes that the fool will meet on their journey throughout their life. And the fool will meet the feminine aspect of themselves. And we all have a feminine aspect and we all have a masculine aspect. And it doesn't matter what gender you are, you have both of those. We don't all know it and we don't all believe it exists, but we have feminine qualities and we have masculine qualities, right? So it has nothing to do with gender. And this particular one is the first half of the feminine aspect of herself in the major arcana of the feminine archetype. And so there's the Empress, number 3, which has everything to do with our emotions and feeling. And then you have the High Priestess, which is the intuition, our wisdom, our higher knowledge, our inner guidance. We all have it. We all have it. We just think that we can't get past this veil right here, but everybody has it and it's available to everyone, but it's blocked here because in order for you to reach it, you need to be in your body. And I'm not sure if you're in your body, and I'm going to say why, because right behind it you have the King of Swords. Now, this particular High Priestess, which is our intuition, is our inner guidance of knowing who we are. Because you have an invitation right here to find out who you are, who you really are, who your authentic self is, who Virgo is. But you've got this King of Swords sitting right at the end here. So, how do I know that you're not in your body? Well, your High Priestess was in reverse. And there's a huge resistance to getting into your body because our head is our masculine part of us. It's what we know, our conscious part of us. It's your ego self. It's the masculine part of you. And the King in my deck is the ego part of you. It doesn't want you, your ego self, to get back into your body. It wants nothing to do with your body. It wants nothing to do with emotions. Our emotions are stored in our body. They're not stored in our head. This King who has the sword of authenticity right here, right? That's who we are right here. He'll tell you that getting back to your authenticity, getting back to your body, feeling your emotions, getting back to your authentic self, he will tell you that that's all bullshit. The King wants nothing to do with authenticity. The ego self wants nothing to do with authenticity. It wants you to keep putting on those masks and show up in the world with your mask on and hide yourself from everyone else. It would want nothing more than to keep you attached to these addictions, because that's what prevents you from feeling and getting into your body. There's your ego self right here. All right. So what we're trying to see here is, this self-worth is coming up because it talked about, are you open to dealing with starting to feel some of your emotions, in particular self-worth? And I said that's what's coming up right now. So we're going to look at why. This is your shadow self. This is from your childhood. This is from your adolescence. So we're going to look at, why is there such a emphasis here in this first line on you? First of all, there's this part of saying this call from the universe to get back to who you really are, right? And why is your King of Swords? Why is your ego self out? Like, what is this pain that you need to get to, that this card right here is saying? Are you open? We've heard your cries. We know you're in pain, but are you open now to dealing with that? And so what is it in your shadow here, that the pain that's coming up for you that wants to be felt by you? Well, we start off with your Eight of Pentacles, which is very interesting because here's your Eight of Pentacles right here. Remember we said that was a situation where you have dedicated so much of your life to doing. And it comes as a first card in your shadow. So how would you read that card now? And it's very interesting that it's in reverse here. So, there's definitely something in your shadow where, I'm almost wondering if it is referring to a job you're doing. And I'm almost wondering if it's something that you don't like, because it was sort of something that was almost like handed down to you. Maybe a family, maybe in your family, that's what you did. It was like almost like you had no choice and that's what you did. And you took on that job, or whether it was something that was almost, you were forced into doing that job. And you're now like, this is what this is talking about, because this is the first card here. And so this is the focus here, is like, what is this Eight of Pentacles here? Is it the job? Is this what it is? Is it, I think it's the reason, whatever it is, it's the reason why. It's the reason why you have these addictions. It's the reason why. It's the reason why you have this pain. And it's the Eight of Pentacles here. So the Moon card comes out right behind it in reverse. And in an upright position, the Moon talks about things that are unhidden. Things that we've kept hidden. Things that were just really... And a lot of times it'll talk about our intuition, for sure. That's blocked. But I think... it's blocked here, these things that are hidden. I think it's very much, and they are hidden because you have an ego self here. There are things in your shadow that you're not aware of. There are things in your shadow that you're not aware of. And shadow is our unconscious. We don't know what's in it. For myself, and I like to give the example from my own healing. I've been trying to get into my healing, trying to heal all my life, putting myself into therapy, in and out of therapy, because I knew there was something wrong with me, but I had no idea what. And when I started to heal, and when I found the right, I found the right trauma coach finally 7.5 years ago, but I believe that it was universe. It came into my feed one day. On my phone when I was scrolling, And I have learned so much about me that I didn't know at all. I had forgotten blocked out all my childhood. I had no idea that I had complex trauma. No idea. I knew there was something wrong with me, but I didn't know I had complex PTSD. I didn't know that. And so in your shadow, there's something here. There's something here in your shadow that you don't know you have. I mean, you might know, you might be aware that there are some things. And the thing is here, we only remember good things. And even if they're bad things, they're the best of the worse, if you know what I mean. Like, you only remember the good things that happen. You might only remember some of it. But there's a lot more here that it says that there's some things hidden here. And I know that because you have this king here. And this is the second king. You have two kings. Okay, so I want to tell you about kings. They're powerful. You need to pay attention to them. We talked about King of Swords here. This king is about your authenticity, your ego self. Well, here's your ego self again coming up, but this time it's talking about the King of Cups, the King of Emotions. This king, and we talked about it, is petrified. This ego self is petrified of emotions. So it will continue to block these emotions. And whatever it is that you have here that's buried in your shadow, it doesn't want you to go there. It's blocking that because it defends it. It's trying to protect you. Our ego self still lives in the past, and it's trying to protect you like it would have when you were a child, right? These heavy, heavy emotions that you would have felt when you were younger. And here's the emotion right here. It's the emotion of shame that's coming up here. And so of your self-worth and unworthiness. And so it would have blocked all of that. So there are things in your shadow that are hidden that you're not aware of that, you know, could be related to your job. And it could even be like, maybe there was something you wanted to do, you were passionate about, that you were supposed to do, but you weren't allowed to. And you were told that you weren't allowed to, right? And so maybe you've been spending your life right now in a job that you don't even like. It wasn't even supposed to be the direction you were supposed to go into. The direction you were supposed to go into was somewhere here in your shadow. But, you know, because it wants to talk about it right here, it's like it's in your shadow right here. Here's the direction. Here's the purposeful job that you were supposed to do, the direction you were supposed to go into. I wouldn't have become a tarot reader had I not healed a lot of my trauma. I have a lot more to go. I know that. But I would not have been a tarot reader. It's not something I even knew about. And so here I am talking about my own healing journey, and I apply it to this tarot. And so, and here's the card here that, here's what this King of Cups here is blocking, this unworthiness. These two individuals here that are going, that are, you know, they're not properly dressed for the winter, and they just don't feel like they're worthy enough to go into the church and ask for some warmth and, you know, to be helped out here. They just don't feel worthy enough. And so this whole reading was talking about, are you open? Are you open to feeling your self-worth? There's help from above. You know, here's the help. Here's the church right here. Here's the help. The card is, here's the help from above. But they're putting it on you now. There's help for you. Are you willing to deal with this? And there's a big part of you that feels very unworthy. So unworthy that you don't even think that there's help for you. Maybe you've given up. So unworthy that you don't feel like there's help for you out there. So how are you going to start to begin to heal this unworthiness? What does the universe want for you to start with? Well, it starts off with the Devil card. And so the Devil said, well, like I've talked about earlier, I said, well, you know, it's time to bring awareness to your addictions. It's time to bring awareness to why. You know, not so much why, I'm going to take that away, but what is it that you're putting off? What are you putting off? What pain are you trying to numb? What are you putting off here? And so I think it's like, I know myself, and one of the things that my own life coach has told me before is she said, you know, when you go towards the food, which is my drug, when you go towards the food, when you're overeating, we'll use that as a gateway. It's like, okay, like, you know, once in a while I'll crave sugar, but if I know, because that's my big thing is sugar, but I'll know that if I'm binging on a lot of sugar, well, that's a sign that I am numbing and putting off what's coming up. And that's how I know it now. Whereas before I didn't bother even considering that. I mean, yeah, I took the food but I didn't bother even looking at it. So now, you know, I might take the food, but I'll also know that, okay, you have something coming up. And that's the big difference, right? I know I'm into my drug, but okay, what's coming up here? And that's what the universe wants you to become aware of, you know, because you're all tied up here. It wants you to know that your addiction is just keeping you tied up. That's all it's doing. It's not allowing you to open yourself up. You can become untied here. It's, you know, you can unravel from this slowly, but you got to deal with what's underneath. You got to work on that pain. That's what you got to work on. And yeah, you might continue to use your you know, your addictions or whatever, but right now it's like, let's look at what's underneath that. And the first thing that they want you to do is, and this is a Six of Swords, it's in reverse, but the Six of Swords speaks about this individual that's taking these people to a more calmer place. Like, look at the waves here, and then the calmness over here, right? And so this is in reverse here because the universe is saying, asking you, do you need to get to a safe place? And this card is always about safety, always about safety. Because you can't do this healing journey if you are not in a safe place. And by safe, I mean like literally safe, where no one's hurting you, or are there people around you that just, you know, shouldn't be on your journey, that you need to let go. Because if they're continuing to re-traumatize you, if they're continuing to keep you in that space where you feel unworthy, and oftentimes the same people, the caregivers that gave us this or planted this shame in us, are still around. And they'll continue to do that. And they'll continue to trigger you in your unworthiness here. I think I do want to give you a playlist before I forget on shame and also on addictions, those two. And so are you in a safe place? The universe wants you to, this is in reverse here. So in an upright position, I get confused because it's already in reverse here. But here we go. So the Hangman says, you know, the universe wants to, you know, get you to a point where you see things in a different perspective. It wants to turn your world upside down and see it in a different perspective. Right now, there's big resistance on your part to doing this work. Big resistance. And to be honest with you, it's out of fear. This ego self right here, you have two of them. You have two kings here. They're full of fear. It's like, don't go there. You know, continue to take your addictions. Continue to live in that world. Continue to live in that tied up world. Because it doesn't want you to open up your heart. It doesn't want you to go and feel. Because those emotions will eat you alive. Well, yeah, they would have eaten you alive when you were young. They would have eaten you right up. And that's why you put them away when you were younger. But you're an adult now and you can feel these emotions. So a different perspective for you. Because this last card is the one that you need to pay attention to. Here's your inner child. Pages are, I think this is the first page you have on the table, and it's the most important page. So there are 4 pages in my deck. And who are they? The pages for me are our inner children. I know mainstream psychology likes to say there's just one, but I've been on the healing journey for a while now intensively that I know that I have more than one inner child. This particular inner child is the one that's going to wreak the most havoc in your life. It's the Page of Cups. It's what I call our love seeker. Every single person has this love seeker. And so because it's coming up for you as the last card in this reading, it's a very, very important card. You have an inner child that needs love. You have an inner child that has been wanting you for a long time to listen to them. You have an inner child that's in a lot of pain. You have an inner child that needs to grieve. You have an inner child that has a lot of shame that they need to get rid of. A lot of shame, who feels a lot of unworthiness. This particular inner child, this love seeker, will wreak havoc in your life because they will continue to pull in people in your life that are not safe for you. And that's why you have this safety card right here. I'm not sure you're safe because you're continuing to pull people into your life that are going to repeat the same patterns from your childhood that are going to make you feel unworthy. They're going to shit on you and make you feel unworthy over and over and over again until you go back and you heal. When this little inner child of yours, in this right here, when they were told they were unworthy, right? When they were told they were unworthy, and maybe they couldn't do this job, they weren't allowed to follow their purpose, do what they wanted to do. And so, you know, and that's where our addictions come in, because we're trying to keep this inner child, this child of ours that's full of grief, that needs to grieve. Our inner children need to grieve their losses. And you're trying to keep it down, and you're numbing all of that out. And so I think to start off with, I would suggest that, I mean, you can't ignore this little love seeker here. Like I said, I'll give you a playlist on addictions. I'll give you a playlist on shame, because shame is important. That's your unworthiness that you really need to start working on here. This is a journey, right, Virgo? This is a journey. It's not going to happen all at once, but you got to start somewhere. And I hope that through this reading, you kind of got an idea of, okay, what do I need to do now? You know, there is hope here. Have a little bit of a direction here. And so let me just leave you one more card, and it's going to be a final oracle, spirit animal for you. You have the dolphin spirit. It's called This and That Are True. Dolphin spirit is a reminder of duality. As the dolphin is both mammal and sea creature, so too is dolphin spirit, both this and that. Two truths coexist. The story you tell and another as well. In all areas of your life, there are aspects of both this and that. Today, you can celebrate this fact and recognize the complexity and the beauty of the fabric of the universe. You are at a place right now where your past self is still present as you move towards the new self you are becoming. This is beautiful. Find solace in this in-between time. Today is not a day to choose one over the other, but rather to accept things as they are without judgment or resistance. Even in matters of the heart, duality is present. Your next action will be obvious when you drop your bias and see things as a whole. Wow, that's amazing for you. All right, I've left you with some good videos. I want you to have compassion for what you're working through right now. This journey is the most difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one. So I'll see you in 2 weeks, and take care, Virgo. Bye-bye.